Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I'm not here with Geeky Sparkles. I'm going to talk about the comic book industry, do a follow-up on the situation with Dynamite. Remember Dynamite Entertainment last week? They're owed like $1 million from Diamond Distribution, and they said they weren't able to, or they could not make payroll this week. Well, now we've got more bad news for the comic book industry. Apparently, Image Comics is laying people off too. I think these things are all related. I think I've talked about this before, and I know people thought we were full of it, but the situation with Diamond is going to have a long tail. We're going to see publishers go under within the next couple of months because they're not going to get paid, and they needed that money. And the margins on the comics are so slim, and most of these publishers are living month to month. They're not going to be okay. They're going to make some cutbacks. They're going to have to frantically try to come up with a new distribution. And I think Image will be fine. Marvel and DC will be fine. In fact, DC, it's actually pretty cool. I saw DC Comics. Here, I'll show you. DC Comics has displays in Sheets around here in Western PA, and they're selling comics in convenience stores, which is awesome. I know Alterna tried it a few years ago. I think they were ahead of the curve, but this is great to see regardless of who the publisher is. It's great to see. I think we need to see more of that. I used to get a lot of my comics from like my regular monthly comics. I get them from the convenience store, 7-Eleven, or I'd get them from, we actually had an old fashioned kind of a drugstore, and they sold, newspapers. It was a newsstand. They had, newspapers and lottery tickets and, medicine, stuff like that. And my grandparents would go, and then I'd pick up, comics. I still remember exactly where the comics were. They were right in the front by the window. So you'd walk in, I would hit the comic rack, and then my parents and grandparents would kind of continue on the back and go buy whatever they had to buy. I didn't pay much attention. I distinctly remember to this day the comic shelf. It wasn't a spinner rack. It was a shelf. It was like a newsstand shelf, but it was full of comics, Marvel comics, DC Comics. And that's when those corner boxes really meant a lot, because the way that they were stacked, like you had to look through like, okay, here's Iron Man, here's the X-Men, here's Batman. And I'd get, I'd pick up comics for 75 cents, $1. It was a simpler time. Now they're $4. I guess with inflation, that's probably about right. And they're bagged now too. So that's also a perk. Anyway, so comics overall, I think will be fine in some way. Manga's doing well. Graphic novels are doing well, but the direct market is pretty screwed. And I think Image overall will be fine, but they're definitely going to be cutting back too. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about the comic book industry being on the skids. Again, I think we're going to see a lot of publishers go under within the next 6 to 8 months. I'm thinking it depends on how much of a cash reserve they have. Some of these publishers were aware. I know I had people come to me last fall saying they think Diamond's going to file for bankruptcy, and they were already making preparations. But a lot of people apparently got caught off guard by it. Anyway, let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Just no woohoos. I'm sorry. It's not appropriate for this video. No, actually, she's just out today. Geeky will be back. Go out to news.clownfishtv.com. Help support the channel. Go out. You can get some paywalled podcasts. We have a lot of other content out there. Thank you very much for the support. That's news.clownfishtv.com. Yeah, everybody's talking about it now. This is on Popverse. They're talking Dynamite is not doing well. They're going to run out of money. And we're going to dip in on this and see where we're at with it. But yeah, they wanted to have an emergency hearing or something to get paid. They were owed like $1 million, and I think it got shot down. But now we're talking Image Comics too. And this one kind of surprised me a little bit. Layoffs at Image Comics, according to Bleeding Cool. At least 4 staffers are gone. Layoffs at Image hit, as we hear, at least 4 staffers no longer there. And they're longtime staffers too. They said departures are tied to the fallout from Diamond. Publicist Kat Newer, sales manager Chloe Ramos, marketing designer Deanna Phelps, and inventory manager Pat O'Connell among those exiting. No official statement from Image. Details remain unconfirmed. So Kat has been a publicist at Image for over a year, so not there very long. Okay. Was the publicity manager at DC, director of publicity at Modern Fanatic, publicist at Heavy Metal, and publicity coordinator at DC. Chloe Ramos has been at Image for 10 years. First as library market sales representative. You think they would keep that person? Library sales? You think they would keep that person? Then book market and library sales manager. Interesting. Patrick O'Connell has been Image for over a year. Previously, man, this guy's been having a bad run. Previously, senior direct market sales manager, IDW Publishing, for 3 years till they issued a large number of layoffs. Gets a job at Image and gets laid off. Sales manager at Dynamite for almost 5 years, and direct sales representative at DC for 7 years. Yeah, Patrick O'Connell, I've heard of. I don't know him, but I've heard of him. Deanna Phelps had been at Image for 6 years. Marketing design manager who designed Image's previews catalog. Well, if there's no more previews, you'll need somebody to design it. Before that, production artist, previously worked in finance for JP Morgan Chase. That's a weird career trajectory, but okay. These have not been confirmed, and no reasons have been given. It comes after Image Comics was heavily hit by Diamond, their Chapter 11 bankruptcy, and the timing suggests they may be linked. No, I think that's kind of a duh. I mean, it's again, we're going to see the dominoes fall over pretty quick. No Image Comics representatives replied to inquiries made yesterday. I wonder what the union's going to do over there. I wonder how they're going to handle it. Founded by 7 of Marvel Comics' biggest artists in 92, Image is the 3rd largest direct market comic book and graphic novel publisher in the U.S. And yeah, I think Image overall will be fine. I think they'll be fine overall. But I think we're going to see a lot of bad things happen in the comic book industry in the next couple of years. Well, no, actually not even a couple of years, a couple months. And then within the next couple of years, I think the direct market is going to look radically different than it does now. All right, so this is also coming from Bleeding Cool. As court denies Dynamite over Diamond, comic creators rally round. Okay, so yeah, Dynamite. As court denies Dynamite over Diamond. Did I get that right? I always get this mixed up. Dynamite and Diamond. Okay. As court denies Dynamite over Diamond, comic creators rally round. They're owed over $1 million. It's not good. They said they didn't have enough money to make payroll. The bankruptcy courts heard the case as to whether these procedures should be expedited. Decided the case was not compelling enough. So they basically said tough shit. Dynamite CEO Nick Barucci wasn't even allowed to speak on the matter. Wow, that's tight. Now, Dynamite is in real trouble and doing its best to stave off its own payment problems, and have recently launched a humble bundle specifically to help raise money to take care of everyone on staff, featuring Disney titles such as Gargoyles, Darkwing Duck, Hercules, Disney Villains, and Lilo and Stitch, as well as raising money for First Book, a nonprofit social enterprise that provides new books and educational resources to programs and schools serving children in need. So this is what's interesting. They were attacking. I remember a lot of the people that are urging people to support Dynamite now were attacking Dynamite. Remember a couple of years ago, it came out that Dynamite was helping Comicsgate. Comicsgate. They were helping Comicsgate, and Jay Lee did like one of Ethan Van Sciver's covers, and everybody was like, "We need to boycott Dynamite. Dynamite should go out of business because they're bigots and homophobes." Remember that? Now they're all like, "Oh my God, guys, what are we going to do?" I think it's basically they're like, "Oh shit, there's not a whole lot of publishers left. What are we going to do? We need these guys to stay in business so we have some work coming in." Gail Simone, I urge every one of you to check this out. Gail Simone has my wife blocked on Twitter. I don't know why. I don't know what exactly. I think she made a joke about being an actual redhead or something to her. I don't know why she's got her blocked. I don't think I've ever talked to Gail Simone about anything ever. And I don't think we roast her too bad in any videos either. Like, we don't make like 9,000, anti Gail or anti Heather Antos videos or whatever. I'm trying to be a little more careful. I'm trying not to put like individuals on blast so much. As the channel's gotten bigger, it's just kind of like, yeah, I don't want to be responsible for somebody getting hurt or whatever. I mean, so I'm trying to attack the ideas. Sometimes people are just beyond ridiculous. So it's like, okay, I got to call you out because you're just like ridiculous. I'm not really paying any attention to what Gail's doing, though. I really am not. I know she tried to do YouTube and it didn't work very well for her. Dynamite is an important publisher. They publish a variety of books no one else is doing. Their loss would be a huge blow to the industry due to short-sightedness and more from other players in the story. Dynamite is in a position any publisher would struggle to overcome. They're good guys, the best guys. I thought they were Comicsgate enablers. I don't know if Gail said that, but I know some other people were like, Tom King, didn't he go after Jay Lee? I was like, what the hell? This is not right. Please check out their humble bundle. I almost always buy them anyway. Joe Pruitt, if you like comics, please consider helping out friends at Dynamite. Amanda Diebert, this awful Dynamite is a wonderful publisher to work with, and I'm so sad they're getting screwed like this by the Humble Bundle. They actually publish a lot of pretty interesting stuff. It's pretty eclectic. Quality wise, I can't really comment on it. Some of it's kind of like, really hated the Rainbow Bright comic. That was not a good idea. Sweeney Boo. Dynamite's Disney comics are available on Humble Bundle with portion of the proceeds going to first book. Does that mean those licenses are going to be available if they go under? Well, I don't want anybody to be out of work. I really don't. But yeah, it's not looking good, guys. It's not looking good for them. And I don't know what I guess part of me is like, you guys don't have cash in the bank to cover payroll for more than like a month. I mean, that's kind of concerning too, isn't it? I mean, it is kind of concerning. I'm like, this is kind of the utter state of comics right now. Even bigger publishers like Dynamite don't really have the cash reserves to be able to handle any disruption in the industry at all. Like, it's just astounding to me. And this happened with COVID too. COVID nuked some publishers and nuked some comic shops because they just didn't have the cash reserves. And again, I think Image will be fine overall. It seems to me like they're getting rid of the people that were associated with Diamond, like the person that designed the previews. They're getting rid of those people, but like, I think they'll be good overall, given what they publish. I mean, my God, they're making enough money off of Walking Dead reprints. And Transformers right now, I think they're probably okay. But yeah, this is not good. I mean, it's not a good situation. I don't think anybody can look at the direct market right now and be like, yep, this is fine. Comics have never been better. Well, some people can do that, but anybody that's actually paying attention to the business side of things is going to look at this and be like, holy shit, things have never been this bad. In fact, Fantagraphics said it. Holy shit, things have never been this bad. I'm just going to leave it there. Hopefully they get their stuff sorted. They get their ducks in a row. Again, I'm not gunning for people's jobs. I don't want anybody to be out of work. I'm just saying, hey, kind of told you so. This is the way things were headed. Diamond was not the basket you wanted to put all your eggs into. Never has been, but everybody did. Going to wrap it up. Please subscribe. We'll talk later. For more pop culture news, views, and rants, go to news.clownfishtv.com. That's news.clownfishtv.com.